If you think there's way too many serious knives in the world, you might like some of the things I have to show you today. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson coming at you from the Knife Center, and we have got the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves right here in front of me. Let's check them out. All right, first knife we're gonna look at today is a limited edition Victorinox knife. This is a version of the Companion coming in with Corian handles, and I'm actually really liking this. They use this oftentimes for countertops, but on a knife, it's got a neat character. It looks like stone, essentially. It's got a really nice matte texture, and I just dig it. This is also coming with a Damast steel blade. So that is a powder metal version of a pattern welded Damascus steel, which gives you way more premium performance than a standard Victorinox blade can provide, as well as looking great as well. Apart from that, it is, well, I was going to say it is the standard Companion. It's actually not quite the standard Companion. We do have the bottle opener here on one side with the flathead. You've also got the new package opener with the small flathead / Phillips head ability there at the tip. This replaces the can opener on most Swiss Army knives. You've also got the pair of scissors, which Victorinox does really well, and you've got a small pen blade. Most Companions come with a small nail file, but this one they've gone with the small pen blade right here. And the steel on that pen blade is just the standard stainless. That's not a Damast steel blade there. On the back, we've got the parcel hook and of course the corkscrew to round things out. Price on this limited edition, $280. Their Damast steel models usually are a fair bit expensive, so that's not outside of what we would have expected, but it's not a cheap Swiss Army knife, to say the least. I do have some cheaper Swiss Army knives for you to take a look at though. KnifeCenter exclusive versions of the Tinker. We've brought some of our Leela Ray art designs onto this full-size model. Previously, you could only get these patterns on the Classic SD. Now for 34 bucks, you can get the Tinker. We've got the Fairy Frogs, the Yeti Ice Fishing, which is my personal favorite, the Water Kitties, and the Green Dragon right here. I'm gonna hold the Yeti. Something about the idea of a Yeti sitting on a frozen lake, ice fishing, it's amusing to me. It kind of talks about like the futility of life sometimes. It's a very macabre, dark twist here at the beginning.
The futility of ice fishing.
That could be too. Two blades.
You catch a fish, you gotta cook it, then you melt it.
Yeah, that's about right. But anyway, these are, with these sort of whimsical art, a knife that doesn't take itself too seriously, which is good. Like, there's plenty of serious knives out there, but when it comes to ones that have a little bit more whimsy, there's not as many. I like to talk about them when we can. It's still a solid tool, however, even with the whimsical handle scales there. Two blades, standard and pen blade in the standard Victorinox steel, and you've got the can opener instead of box opener, and bottle opener, each with their respective screwdriver tips, and you've got the awl and a 3D Phillips on the back. And the toothpick of tweezers, of course. I should not forget to mention that, which makes me remember the limited edition with the Corian handles, no toothpick or tweezers on those. So that's the sacrifice you make for the limited edition in this case. All right, I've got another more affordable knife before we climb up the price ladder a bit. SRM, one of our favorite budget brands these days. This is the Qrick. Qrick is the name of the folder. $48 for the carbon fiber version. There is a more whimsical version of this, actually. Would have fit the theme of the table, with a forest green G10 handle scale on one side and orange G10 on the other. That one's about 45 bucks. About 48 for the carbon fiber right here. So as for the weight on this knife, it's not a full carbon fiber handle, so you don't get the weight reduction you might normally get. This is a G10 laminate with carbon fiber layers on the top and on the inside, actually. So you do actually get a bit of that weave on the inside. So 2.7 ounces is the weight for the blade. So you don't quite get, as I mentioned, the weight reduction, but it's not to say it's a heavy knife to begin with, though. 14C28N is the blade steel. Good, tough stainless right there. 3¼ inches long with that modified Wharncliffe shape, full flat grind. Just all around useful blade. If you like the utility of a Wharncliffe shape, the tip work especially, you can have a nice acute profile there. And a pretty hand-filling grip despite it being fairly narrow. There's enough there to put some muscle behind when you need it. The lock is provided by an inset liner lock right there. Very subtle flipper tab here in the closed position, but very easy to deploy. And our favorite SRM feature these days, the pinchable pocket clip right here. I'm not talking like squeeze the cheeks and, oh, it's so cute. Toolless.
You might feel that way about it.
One could. I'm not going to stop you if you choose to. But it's deep carry, and you pinch the fork, essentially, because inside, you've essentially got a split fork. I guess it's not fully split. So I guess it's not a fork at all.
Harpoon?
But you have these tines on the inside, and you could switch it around, pop it into the other side. Easy as you please. But that's a pretty cool feature. Keeps the look nice and clean. And you're probably not going to be changing things around every day. So once it's in place, it's going to be in place. But it's a cool thing nonetheless.
If you're a switch flipper?
Switch flipper, there you go. How about some more less serious knives? Skin deep, less serious. Underneath the surface, these are still very serious tools, however. The Wraith 4 Auto from Heretic in their cell shade finish, which is very comic book inspired for sure. This is the red, but we've got a yellow and a green in stock right now. Or is it green, or it might be a turquoise or teal? You'll have to check the site. $371 for these 3¾ inch blade, Magna cut steel, aluminum handles with traction inserts, and excellent push button automatic action. So like I said, the aesthetics are skin deep on this. All the internal organs are high quality and high performing for sure. These things, they're just fun, man. If you'd prefer a more serious version, we have some more serious versions of the Wraith as well. You can check them out at the description. But before I put it down, like, the Wraith is a great all-around shape. It does tactical stuff, certainly. It feels more skewed towards that usage, but there's nothing here that prevents it from being useful just as a general purpose everyday carry. So that is a really cool thing. This next knife is way less general purpose and way less serious from the outset. This is the Stabnana version of the Rock from Heretic in cell shade version now. There have previously been slightly more photorealistic Stabnanas. This is the more cartoonish version. $490, 3.2 inch blade, Magna cut steel again. Same great action. Great OTF action going on here. We really enjoy these because they're just plain fun. We see a lot of all black knives every day, so we like to spice things up a little bit. Leave this out in the sun too long, it might go fully brown though. Probably not.
It'll split hairs.
Speaking of all black, actually this is not the all black version of the ZT44. It's the all black washed version of the ZT44. Black handle, black blade version of this is already available at $356, or you can get for the same price the black washed finish. And I'm really digging this. I really enjoy what the tumbling process of that black wash has done to like the high points of the handle here. It makes the lines pop out really, really nicely. Softens it in the hand a little bit too, and the black stone washed blade looks great alongside it too. 3.2 inch blade, S45 VN steel. Excellent flipping action on the button lock there. I would say like amongst the best, right up there with the ProTech Malibu, which still stands there as kind of the benchmark of button lock flipping action these days. This is like, if not equal, it's knocking on the door of what the Malibu can bring you for sure. Great all-around blade shape with the drop point, not too thick or thin, high flat grind. It's going to have excellent slicing overall. Lefty or righty friendly, thanks to the button lock and finger safe closing action, so your fingers can stay a little extra safe without even having to think about it. Oops, unless you drop the knife while spinning it around for the camera, which could happen depending on what you're doing these days. Deep carry pocket clip to round things out. Overall, just a really nice everyday useful design. Does have some hints of tacticality though, maybe even more than hints, but let's go full on tactical now. This is a new knife with some history here. This is the original Gangster from Fox Knives. It is a Bob Terzola design. And if you're at all familiar with Bob Terzola and why he's famous, you would have instantly been able to see that, because this is based on the design that put him on the map. The Advanced Tactical Folding Knife, ATCF essentially, that made Bob T be the guy who's recognized as sort of like the godfather of modern tactical folders. And now you can get it again, basically now in this this Fox version right here. 340 bucks, it's not cheap. You've got a 3 3/4 inch MagnaCut blade. You've got green micarta for the handles. The back spacer, is that G10 actually? I think that's G10, with a hidden lanyard spot at the back. Single screw pocket clip for right side carry. Not a deep carry pocket clip, and that is in keeping with the mission of the tactical nature of this knife. You want enough of that handle to stick up above your pocket to make it easy to grab when the adrenaline hits. You don't want to be fumbling to get the knife out of the pocket if you're truly needing it in a tactical scenario. We've got an ambidextrous thumb plate for opening. You've also got, if you'd rather forego that, a flipper tab at the back, giving you very nice action. The action on the knife feels almost like washers, but it is actually a set of ball bearings in there. But the action has that sort of like slick feel that that washers can sometimes provide, and the blade lands home with just a really nice thwack. But anyway, back to the original tactical mission of the knife. However, with that drop point blade, it's going to be useful for a lot of things. It's not the sliciest profile all around, given the amount of blade thickness you've got there, and it's not a full height flat grind, but it is still going to be pretty useful and pretty adaptable as well. Next up, for some everyday carry fixed blades, we have new versions of the Benchmade Dacia. There's actually an all black version of this that is a truly new variant with black micarta and a black coated MagnaCut blade. But all three now existing versions are coming with a new sheath. They've ditched the injection molded sheath with the clip and now are giving us, I'll talk about the sheath first before I go back to the knife, a leather sheath with a bolt-on insert. And the leather sheath is set up for horizontal carry, so you can carry it, the smaller your back. You could appendix carry it, I suppose. You could crossbody carry it for right-handers or left-handers. I mean, you've got the full wraparound loop there, so there's no need to swap anything around at all to carry it on either side of the body in any position you wish. You got the looks of leather and the nice security provided by that Kydex-like material that is bolt-on right there. Different colors of leather depending on which version of the knife you get, but the knife itself, 3.5 inch tapering drop point blade, MagnaCut steel, not too thick, but enough to be very strong. MagnaCut, of course, providing a lot of toughness alongside its high edge retention and stainless properties. And we've got a higher-ish flat grind there to keep things generally useful. I personally am a big fan of the denim micarta version, so that's why I brought this. And the accenting hardware is perfectly chosen in terms of color, because what goes with a set of blue jeans? Nice, copper buttons or copper, pins and all that, or snap posts, and this is the same kind of vibe there, so I really dig it. Nice. Hand size. I do have slightly larger than average hands, and I am just the barest bit of cramped if I'm trying to keep my index or my pinky finger inside the beak there at the back. Not so much that it's unusable, but it is noticeable that it's a little bit on the tight side for me, but it also feels good for me to bridge over the back of that and just use it like so. But pinch grips also are going to be really nice, and they work for me. 300 bucks for any of these versions. Next up, we have the TerraKukri from Condor. Not an expensive machete right here. This is about 60 bucks, $59.48 to be exact. And it's got the handle from the TerraSheti, which is similarly priced. I think it's about 60 bucks. And that machete remains kind of like pretty much my go-to machete recommendation right now. It provides a lot for the money. The design is smart. You got cool stuff like compound grinds and the like. So I really dig that. And the handle is very roomy and comfortable to use and effective in actual slashing with it. The TerraKukri here is more machete than it is traditional kukri. We've got a thinner blade overall, so you don't get quite the smashing power that a full thickness kukri can bring, but you do get a little bit of extra chopping capability compared to the TerraSheti. The downward canted blade like this, especially when paired with an expertly done snap cut, you could really move some material when you're hitting in the sweet spot of this blade right there. You can still choke up here for smaller work when you need it, and it still comes with an injection molded sheath. Here it is. Keep my thing out of the way here. There we go. That helps. Clicks in real nicely there with a retention strap, because you do have the open spine at the back. You can't not get the same kind of retention a full coverage Kydex sheath will provide. But this is a lot for 60 bucks. 1075 carbon steel is gonna be plenty tough. Doesn't hold an edge as much as 1095, but it is stronger when the chips really get flying. Designer of that TerraKukri is Joe Flowers, our good friend, of course. And the designer of this next Condor is Jason Knight. This is the K-Knight Cleaver, 1075, 12-inch or so blade. I mean, that's a big chunky blade right there. 140 bucks, thicker, about 5/32 of an inch, I would say. It might even closer to 3/16 actually. Stout grind here. This is a hacker, and I want this for my fire pit at home like so bad right now. I mean, this would just make short work of prepping kindling. I could chop with it like a small hatchet. I could baton with it if I want to be a little more precise, or maybe go after some stuff without, swinging a blade around. If people are crowded around the fire pit and I don't want to, go too far off in the distance to prep more wood. This would just be so much fun as a campfire prepper right here. That's what I see myself using it for the most. But this would also make a great field dressing or field butchering tool, I should say. If you're taking apart the latest carcass, this could blow through some joints and probably straight through some bone pretty easily. And
that'll handle some cheese.
You and cheese knives, man.
They're delicious.
I would say this is probably a little thick for most cheeses to be a cheese knife, but the shape would really do it. Maybe you could reprofile and get yourself a real thin camp cheese knife with something like this.
For the hard cheeses.
This would just swing really hard. You don't need precise cuts of cheese at camp. You just need chunks, and this could chunk cheese real quickly.
Cold cuts mean cold chops.
There you go. Why not? Black micarta handles, protruding tang here at the back. Means you can smash with the other end as well. Kydex sheath is right here. Also kind of a little more of a mask than a sheath, really. I don't know if you're going to be able to throw this on your belt, although optimistically they have included belt loops here at the back. This would live at camp for me, or live in the car when I go to camp, or live in my garage close to my fire pit at home. I would have so much fun with this bad boy, man. So much fun. You could too. Next up, we have got some traditionals to take a look at. New range of Jack Wolf knives. We have their full high-end versions with titanium handles, fancy inlays, S90V steel. We've also recently unveiled or sold through the first batch of their Gateway series, which had 14C28N steel, or did it have Nitro V? It was 14C, wasn't it? And more traditionally made. This K9 Jack right here is kind of bridging the gap between. They start at 165 for a G10 or a micarta handle. This version right here is 185, and it's got a rich light handle with a saw cut texture on it. So it's mimicking like old saw cut bone or saw cut wood for that matter, but it's essentially paper micarta. It's layers of paper stabilized with resin, and it's always a good feeling material in general. And with the kind of, that vintage feeling saw cut texture on it as well, it's just kind of chef's kiss for me. I really enjoy that. We had a yellow jig bone that is sold out at this point. However, I don't know if we're going to be able to get more, but you could check the site. The K9 jack is obviously a dog leg inspired pattern here. We've got a broad spear point blade, full height hollow grind, 154 cm on these, and the blade length is about 2.85 there. Feels really nice. The blade itself feels exactly the same as the high-end versions in terms of its finish and everything like that. You just get the difference in steel, of course. Screw together construction like the high-end versions. Really nice action as well. That walk and talk is fantastic. Check them out. Save some money over the full fat versions, but if you want a real affordable Jack Wolf, keep an eye out for the next Gateway release, of course. These next knife, I'm really pleased by what's going on with this Opinel. It is a new number 6. It's the Neo6. So I love the way they've kept the 06, the 06 as part of the name, but the Neo, of course, meaning new. This is a slip joint, not a friction folder, if you want to call a traditional Opinel a friction folder. So the standard version of the number 6, which is the same size as this knife, has the locking ring on it, but they've essentially, near as I can tell, they've only had to replace that part. Instead of the collar or locking ring, we've got a new collar here, and this little cutout here at the back, that is the slip joint back spring. Can you see that moving right there? I'll try to get close up of that. That makes it feel and operate like a slip joint. That's kind of cool. This is not going to float everybody's boat, certainly, but I love how elegantly they arrived at the solution for creating a back-sprung slip joint version of the number 6 here, and I love the naming convention behind it as well. There's some nice checkering pattern on the ring there to give it a little bit extra. $30 for the walnut version, $35 for olive wood, and $70 for ebony at this point. So right now, the standard beechwood handles of the number 6 and most of the Opinel lineup are not currently available on this. Sandvik blade, 12C27, 2 3/4 inches blunt tip on these. If that's your thing, great. If not, that's all we got right now in any case. Would be real easy to mod to a pointed model. Of course, if you have to take a Dremel to it, have no problems. Cool things, man. I know not everyone's going to appreciate that, but there's just a lot about that tickles my fancy. Same thing is probably going to be true for these next knives. Recently, we have expanded our selection of Grohmann knives. Grohmann, of course, the maker of the famous Canadian belt knife, the Russell fixed blade, if you want to call it that. It's such a cool looking pattern. So we've got a bunch more of their stuff now. I pulled just 2 items. The first is essentially a folding version of the classic Canadian belt knife. The number 300 DH Russell lockback right here. $178. Materials-wise, it is pretty simple, I must admit, for the price. 4116 stainless steel, pretty basic stuff. Pinned wood handle scales, lockback. Good feeling lockback, though. Yeah, not the heaviest on the lock, but certainly going to be useful. Chunky on the handles too. Now, I personally really want to buy one of these and mod the heck out of the handle, really shape it, get it all svelte, thin it out a little bit. It still feels okay in its blockier format here, but I know, again, that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and just suggesting buying an almost $200 knife just to mod it, I know is not going to be a popular suggestion either. I'm speaking for myself in this case. I think I would have fun doing that. The bail at the back, interestingly, has a little extra play in it, so pops in and out. So if you want to take this fob off, or the lanyard off, let me just check to make sure how deep it will go. So yeah, that'll stay pretty well out of the way. That's as far in as it will go, but it pops out when you want a little more. Maintains the same kind of drop to the handle, meaning you can get a little bit of knuckle clearance if you're slicing on a surface with the belly right here. That is a nod, of course, to the hunting heritage of this model, but use it for whatever you want. Blade 3 3/4 inches long. You got plenty of reach for a lot of stuff. The tip is fairly acute thanks to the swedge here. The edge geometry is a little bit on the tougher side, stronger side as opposed to slicier side, but I'm telling you, I'm just really enjoying it. Next up, we have the number 100 large skinner from Grohmann. $120 for this, with that same stainless steel in this case. Slightly thinner on the blade, nice swooping profile. Really going to be able to get some long sweeping cuts and skinning cuts out of that. Rosewood for the handles, traditional cutler's rivets, I believe, there to hold things on. Little bit of a corner knocked off the edge here, so you can pinch a little bit better. Although again, I want to take it and mod it just to have fun. That's a cool slicey shape. Sheaths, actually, I forgot to mention these. You do have a belt sheath for the folder right here. Simple cut-in loop or cut-in slots there at the back for belt carry, and traditional loop leather. That's the word.
Good job.
Leather sheath with a post and flap on the front, and also the ability to kind of unthread the loop here at the back. So if you wanted to take it on or off the belt without removing the belt, it might be a little fiddly, but you could do it. All right, changing gears completely from the old school fixed blades to modern folders, although at least the blade shapes here share a little bit of things in common, perhaps. Just enough to make it a worthy transition, I guess. A handful of knives from Kansept to end the show. This is the Caveman, a Jesse Pauley design, coming in at $229. For that, you got a 3.6 thereabouts inch blade, stonewash finish, 20 CV steel.
Yeah.
Thomas's favorite blade shape, apart from cheese knives.
Welcome to the team.
The reverse Tonto. Can't even get too mad about that one being called a reverse Tonto. It's fine. This is a knife that has some chunk to it, in a good way. The blade is not super chunk. The blade is still going to slice well enough, but it feels like there's some strength there. 20 CV going to provide you a lot of edge retention, of course. The handle is contoured titanium with a single-sided milled pocket clip here on the right side. Frame lock for security. The lockup is supremely stable. No wiggle that I could detect in that quick little unscientific test right there. Reverse flick. Didn't have the angle quite right. There you go. That was a little nicer. Reverse flick works nicely. Thumb flick for me, really nice. Of course, you could slow roll it. Ball bearings in the pivot to give it that type of prototypical or archetypal modern action overall. Definitely get some good work done with this knife. There is a fair amount of choil here at the front. It's kind of a finger choil, but it's kind of just an extension, for me anyway, of that ricasso, or around the pivot area of the knife. So I could choke up and kind of bridge the pivot with my index finger without getting too close to there, because that is an unguarded edge there at the back. So user be wary in that sort of case. Next up, a Ray Laconico design, and if you don't like small folders and wish there was more big folding knives on the market, this could be something for you to check out. This is the Bison, $196. You got a 4 1/4 inch S35 VN blade, really aggressive clip point shape, definitely Bowie-esque in the whole presentation of this knife. Definitely a pocket Bowie thing going on. Small bits of, or hints of crossguard milled or integrated with the titanium frame right there. A faux inlay with actually a different finish as well to further, play up the illusion that there is an inlay. It looks really good though. Cleanly done. Feels pretty good. Plenty of handle length there for, I would have to imagine, any hand size. And let's check out the action. Thumb studs only in this case. Oh, yeah. That is a really satisfying opening feel when that blade lands into place. Milled pocket clip, right side, tip up, frame lock security. Again, I like the closed profile where that crossguard just meets right up with that spine. Yeah, man. Really cool, big, slicey, worky knife right there. Next up, 113 or so bucks will get you the Kosame from Kansept, 3 3/8 inch 154 cm blade with a bronze finish and a black stonewashed handle. Really cool accented details here on the spine and on the back of the handle. That's going to give you a bit of traction here, and on the blade it's going to act kind of like jimping, giving your thumb a little more to bite onto. They call it, actually I'm surprised, our website calls it a Wharncliffe blade, but you could probably call that a reverse Tonto if you wanted to.
A little blunt, I might call it a sheep's foot.
Nah, Maybe a sheep's clip. Sheep toe? Compromise?
Straight back.
Meet you in the middle. It is a, I was going to make a joke, it's a reverse thing, but then it would be just a reverse Tonto. Button lock action on these is quite good. Yeah, real nice. You can, of course, just wrist flick, open and close. You got that finger safe closing again, which I always appreciate. 154 cm for the steel, if I didn't mention that already. Cool everyday piece. If you like a completely straight edged blade, you can certainly get a lot more power on some push cuts than you might be able to get on a drop point, depending on how much belly the knife has. But you can really get that same power all the way out to the tip, which is really nice with this, this kind of straight edge. Last but not least, also with a straightened edge, hint of belly, not too completely straight, we have the Parr, designed by Jonathan Stiles. 99.90 at this point. S35 VN, 2.87 inches on that. This one they call reverse Tonto. See, this is the logic. Like, one is one and the other is not. I don't know. Cool little shape though. Copper carbon fiber for the handles. Let me see if there's another option. Yeah, you can get a black stone-washed blade with a shred carbon fiber for the same price if you wish. Yeah, great small utility knife. You can think of it as sort of like a premium box cutter replacement, as well as giving you more edge to work with than a standard box cutter blade for some more delicate work when you need it, but you've got full tank for strength, and you've got a Kydex sheath right out of the box with a pocket clip ready to go, making this a great pocket fixed blade. You could also carry it inside the waistband quite easily. If you would like to change the hardware, however, let me just check to see if a tech lock will fit it. Pardon me, should have done this before. Yeah, a large tech lock will fit that no problem. And although they are discontinued, let's see if a small tech lock will fit. Yeah, if you've got some small tech locks lying around, too bad. It doesn't quite line up with the whole pattern there. Asked and answered, I guess. Well, anyway, that's all we got for today, folks. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Did you like some of the less serious knives in today's episode, or do you think they were entirely too unserious for your tastes?
I think they were most serious.
Most serious. I like some knives that don't take themselves too seriously, because especially in this day and age, a lot of us take ourselves way too seriously, and we could afford to lighten up a little bit, I think. There, try to find some controversy with that statement. Someone will, I'm sure. But let me know in the comments. If you want to get your hands on any of these knives, check out the links in the description, which will of course take you to KnifeCenter.com, where we've got our long-running knife rewards program, as well as new Sezzle payment options. We've had them for a couple of months now. I guess they're not brand new, but you could use them to break up the payments on some of these more expensive knives if you like. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera, and we're signing off for now. See you next time.